So I'm here in Shinzanso in Tokyo, and I'm speaking to John Ladue, a long-term YWAM missionary who, of course, has just received his master's degree, and he did his thesis on sports ministry. Now, for those who don't know, I understand sports, I understand church ministry, but what exactly is sports ministry? You know what?
Well, sports ministry is a way of, first of all, getting to know people, and then it's an amazing tool for discipleship. As you, whatever you do in sports, if you start a sports team, you begin with relationship, and then you play together, and then afterwards you have fun, and so it's a great time to disciple whatever age of people you're working with, and it's not a direct, it's kind of an indirect way of getting to know people, showing your views, your Christian views if they're not Christian. And of course, that's one aspect of it. Then there's a whole other aspect, many aspects of it. If you have school sports, you have church sports, you have local sports, you have sports clubs, you have all of these different areas that you can. Sports is part of life.
So I assume if you want to get involved in this ministry, do women get involved?
Of course they do.
But you'd have to be kind of crazy about sports, right? Or
no, I mean, there's a recreational sports. It's something that many people love. Recreational sports, they jog, or they might go skiing, or sports. Even watching sports, you engage in doing the actual physical activity. The watching of sports these days is a lot. I mean, worldwide, sports is becoming, one of the main influences in people's life. You look at Nike, you look at so many of these people that are, the soccer players, which I'm not so much into soccer, but American football players or cricket players or any of these, they are incredibly influencing literally thousands of individuals for good or for bad. And so if they know the Lord, or if they have good upstanding way of life, then people will look at that, and if their lifestyle is the other way, then they'll give them a license to do things that they shouldn't be doing. So the influence and the impact of sports these days is probably the greatest ever been in the whole world. I can give you a quick story. There was an announcement that was made a few years ago, and it was viewed by more people than any other announcement at any other time in history. And people said, well, who was it? Was it the President of the United States? Was it the Pope? Was it some influenced people? It was Tiger Woods. So he's a sports guy. So the influence, Kaka, I think that's the name of the guy, the soccer guy, and on. Amazing way to influence people. So I think it's one of the greatest evangelism tools, discipleship tools that we have.
So this is not something that's just like when the Olympics are on, or this is something people are involved with the whole time, or like there's the Rugby World Cup. Is this the time when people go over there to evangelize, or?
Well, I think it's all the above. I think it's the international events, like you said, the Olympics, like to look at in the States, of course, the Super Bowl and on. Those are highlights, but the daily activity, you have daily sports teams, you have different sports teams during different times of the year, and so coaches that are working with young people. So it's all the above. It isn't just the Olympics. That's kind of the icing on the cake, and that, of course, everybody watches the Olympics and those kind of events.
Okay. Is there anything you've learned about God or life through sports?
I think I've learned everything about discipline through sports. I think sports taught me personally the discipline myself, that there's certain things I have to do in order to achieve certain things. It is because it's a passion for me. It's taught me a lot about myself, the good parts of me and the bad parts of me. In competition, the stuff that comes up. So it has taught me more about my own personal self, and also discipled me been a great tool for discipling me in all areas of my life.
Okay, what about the other way? Do you think becoming a Christian or praying or following God can make you better at your sport or a better sportsman, or can help your sport, or would it hinder it?
Well, I think if you're living a Christ-like lifestyle, you're going to be much more healthier than if you're living another kind of lifestyle. And so if you're eating properly, if you're sleeping properly, if you're emotionally, physically, spiritually on top of things, you're going to be a better athlete for sure.
Great. Last question. What's the best sport in the world?
Ice hockey.
And who's the best ice hockey player that's ever lived, or your fan?
Probably Gretzky is one of the best, but there's so many good hockey players.
Okay, if you played against Gretzky in your prime, so Gretzky in his prime and John Ladue in your prime, I know you can't compare generations, but who would have come out on top?
There's no question Gretzky kicked my butt.
Okay, thanks.
But I could have knocked him on his butt, so that would have made us at least equal for a few minutes.
Okay, we'll leave it there with John Ladue.